Diva, did you know that there was no such thing as competition? Well, if you don't know, you know now. Listen, I know all of the coaches and gurus and subject matter experts, and they tell you that there's competition. When you're building a business, they're telling you to see who your competitor is. Look at for somebody that's doing the same thing that you are doing. Those are your competitors. And then, make some decisions around what they're doing successfully. Well, I challenge you to believe that there is no such thing as competition. Do you know why? Because there's only one you. God made one of you to be who you are, to have your thoughts, to have your gifts, and to have your talents. So if he gave them to you, exactly who are you competing with? I just need to understand. Who's the competition now? Are there many people that do different things or do the same thing, if you will? Yes, they do. It's 51 different bleaches and 100 different washing powders and, 12,000 different people that make jackets and 100,000 different people that make shirts. But no one does it like you. No one can talk about it like you. No one can deliver it like you. You are not only wonderfully made, you are uniquely made. There is a DNA in you that is not in somebody else. Even twins. I know some of y'all intellectual people out there. You may be thinking, well, what about identical twins? Yes, they're identical, but there's something in their DNA that is still different. They're identical in look, but they still have their own personality. They may be identical in appearance, but they still have their own gift and talent that rightfully belongs to them. They're not competing against each other because they look alike. Ooh, that was a word for somebody. They're not competing against each other because they look alike. Let's look up the word competition. Yeah, I'm big on definitions. Listen, competition, the act of competing, rivalry for supremacy, a prize, etc. Right? Now, there is, competitiveness in sports, right? You have football season, basketball season, baseball, golf, all the difference. And yes, they're competing for a prize, but they're standing in the mindset of nobody is better than them. Who are they competing with? They're not competing against. If anything, they're competing against themselves. They're trying to make themselves better. They may be in a competition, but in your mind, you're not competing against anyone because you are the only one that can do it, right? And so why would you rival for supremacy against somebody that's not you? They don't look like you, can't do it like you, can't talk like you, right? I got a question. Does butter compete with margarine? No. I look at, a competition. Why am I competing against something that's not real? Butter don't compete with margarine. It's butter. It's the real thing. It's good and it's fattening and it tastes good. It makes everything wonderful. Right? There's no imitation of butter. If it's an imitation, it's not real. And some of you all are sitting here chasing the lives of somebody else instead of standing in who you are. I think a lot of that comes from you not realizing who you are, right? You got to know who you are and whose you are to believe and stand in. There is no competition. You got to be sure in your gift and in your talents to know that there's no competition. And if we would take on that mindset that there's no competition, you will be amazed how successful you will be in your own right. So many people out here are living in imposter world. They living in the metaverse where they can become anything that they want to become, right? They're wearing this mask. They deal with imposter syndrome because they're so busy looking at what somebody else has, what somebody else is doing, what somebody else is creating, how somebody else is living, instead of focusing on the gift and talent that God has given them. Ladies, divas, please stop. Focus on the gift and talent that you have. You are gifted. There may be people that have told you that you weren't. There may be people that have tried to make you feel bad because of their own insecurities, and you have allowed that spirit to come in you, and now you operating in the realm of imposter syndrome, right? No. You are uniquely made. There is only one Mary. Only one Mary L. Boyd. I am it. I am not competing against nobody else that's out here in this world. I stand in who God made me. I stand in who I am with him. Divas, please stop. And the world has you looking at everything else. And the crazier part is you don't even know if what you're looking at is real. Because 99.99% of the people are showing you what they want you to see, what they want you to believe. And then something happens in their life and you like, ooh, I thought, oh, listen, keep your eye on you. Keep your eyes on your gift and your talents. What is it that you are supposed to do? Now, it is awesome and amazing to admire others that are in the field that you're in or that are doing great things in their life. It is the way that keeps us going because there are people that inspire us, right? They're doing it. They're walking in their kingdom assignment. They are making the money and going the places and obtaining the things and doing it all, right? And it's nothing wrong with them inspiring you. They are encouraging you. They're motivating you to do what you are supposed to do. But you should never look at them in a place of envy or of jealousy or of copying, of replication or duplicating, right? You don't want to duplicate nobody. Why do you want to duplicate? Why do you want to be a carbon copy of somebody else? That makes no sense to me. I am not a carbon copy of anybody. I am me. And there's only one of me. And when you start to stand in that boldness of who you are and what God made you, you will understand that you have no competition. Do you know how many people are out here doing podcasts? Thousands. Tens of thousands, I'm sure, are out here doing podcasts. You know how many coaches and business mentors there are in this day and age? Tens of thousands of them. And I'm still not competing for any of them. See, I truly believe that God has assigned those to me that I'm supposed to affect, that I'm supposed to change, who lives I'm supposed to sow into, who I'm supposed to help, who's going to hear this podcast and move from it. He purposed me for this. And if he purposed me for it, he makes the provisions. He provides for it. So I don't have to compete and try to do all the things that everybody else is doing if it's not in line with what it is I'm supposed to be doing. There are some fundamental, foundational things in everything that you do, right? It's just there's foundation. There's like building a house. I don't care what type of house you build. It has to be built on a strong, solid foundation. And with that strong, solid foundation, right, the house changes. The house could have, 7 sides to it. It can be brick. It can be stucco. It can be siding. It can be steel. It can be concrete. The inside could have 4 bedrooms. It's framed differently, but a lot of foundations are the same. So I'm not saying that everything that you do on this journey of life, that your foundation is different. There's some principles that are just principles, and especially when you're dealing with God's principles, they work, okay? And that you don't veer away from the principle of the thing. But the outcome of it, how you do it, how you go about it, there's a part of you, it just resonates and comes out. I'm me. All day, every day. I'm never anybody else. What you see is what you get. If you don't like it, don't look at it. It's not going to change me, though. I'm not out here trying to be somebody else. It is different, again, if you're using someone else as an inspiration. If you're looking at, the things, right? And you like, I want that. Who doesn't want their own home, right? Their 40 acres and a mule, if you will. Who don't want their toys in the garage? Who doesn't want to travel around the world without any issues? Who don't want to pay their bills on time and early? Who don't want to be able to afford their children the finer things in life and allow them to have experiences they would never forget? Who don't want those things? We all do, right? And so the inspiration and the aspiration to accomplish the things in life that you want is not the thing itself. I'm not looking to have another person's house. I want my own. I'm not looking to have another person's car. I want my own. I want what's for me. And so it's a mindset shift that is going to be difficult for some people, but it can be done because you're so used to people telling you to check out your competition. Unless we're in the ring together, you're not my competition. We're not competing. And even in the ring, I'm still not competing against you because I'm the best at what I do. I am the best. You are the best at what you do, the way that you do it. And God has assigned people to you and you to them. And when you try to be somebody else, when you're chasing after the competition, you're going to miss out on both sides. You're going to miss out on those that were assigned to you because they can't hear your voice because it's a false voice. And you're going to miss out on those that you are assigned to because you've changed your whole personality. You are in a total disguise and they don't recognize you. So people will hear and see you that are supposed to, and the rest, they're for somebody else. We have this mentality that we have to do everything for the whole world. The whole world isn't yours, right? The whole world isn't yours. You have a part to play in it. Play your part. Do what you are supposed to do. Stay in your piece of the pie, if you will, right? And so I just come to tell you, Diva, number one, stop competing. Stop wearing the mask. Stop trying to be somebody else and tap into who you are. Tap into who you are. Sit with yourself and say, who am I? Am I trying to be somebody else? Am I a carbon copy of somebody else? Or do I do it the way that God has gifted and talented me into doing it? Okay, yep, I said it like that. Gifted and talented me into doing it. Do it the way that God has built you to do it. There is nothing more exhausting than trying to be somebody else. If your personality, you ever been mad at somebody, but your personality, you can't stand being in that space. You're just not in that headspace to stay mad at somebody and exert the energy to not talk to them and to not speak to them. You know, our married couples could probably really, really relate to this. And it is so exhausting. You walking past your husband in the house like, I want to say something, but we mad at each other. So I'm not going to say anything. And so now your whole mindset is now on not speaking, not doing, not touching, not loving. It's all on the negative side of things, and it exhausts you. It exhausts you because you are trying to be and act like something that you're not. It is hard trying to be somewhere else. We say it in relationships. Boy, it wasn't like that when it started out. They were faking the funk. And then they got tired of being fake. And then the real them came out, and you know what? You didn't like it. You can't be somebody that you're not for too long before the real you raises up and rise above the ashes, as they say, right? And so, divas, know who you are. And if you aren't sure, if you've been living in the shadows of others, if you've been trying to be a carbon copy of somebody else, to do it like them and say it like them and act like them because they look like they have what you want, if that's been you, then take some time to figure out who you are. Do the exercises and the works to know who you are. Be with yourself for a moment. Think about the things that you like and don't like. And then take the stance and be bold in who you are and know that there is no competition. I ask you again, does butter compete against margarine? You love butter or you don't, but it is still butter. It's butter, baby. It's butter. Oh my God, Diva. Whew. I am so passionate about this topic because I am just ready for everyone just to be their real selves, who they are, right? And if you don't like who you are, change it. Because you are your own person. Your response is your responsibility. So I tell you right now, adopt the mindset that there's no competition. And then go out there, live your blessed life, live on purpose, and do what? Walk. See y'all on the next episode, Divas.